Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for everybody that's here is attending for the first ever Progressive Democrats of America Michigan branch meeting. My name is Alex Kirsch, and I've decided to be the one to take the reins on this because I'll go into the history about that real quick once we kind of get this whole thing started. I'm going to go ahead and just start this slide presentation. So just everybody just let me know if you could see this presentation right quick. So go ahead and do this. All right. Let me know. Can everybody see that slide?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Fantastic.
Looks cool.
All right. Fantastic. So, Progressive Democrats of America, this is the PowerPoint presentation right here. And as people come in, I'm just going to keep admitting them. So if I stop, it's because I'm admitting more people into the room, essentially. So, once again, everybody, welcome for this first ever meeting, the first of many. So today's agenda, we're basically going to talk about opening statements, what we're doing here, whatnot. And then I'm going to introduce Dan O'Neill, the gentleman to my on my screen. He is to my left, and from Pete, he's actually part of the people that works with PDA, Progressive Democrats of America. And then I'm going to give the PDA Michigan mission statement. I'm going to go over the intent of the Progressive Democrats of America for the state of Michigan. And then I'm going to introduce myself. And if anybody wants to do a quick introductions of themselves, like real quick, just say, hi, my name's Joe Snuffy, and I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I'm a delegate. You can do that. I'm going to discuss the convention in Detroit that's coming up this weekend, this Saturday at the 22nd. I'm also going to discuss the Rural Caucus seminar in 2025 that's coming up in April. I'm also going to discuss the 2026 candidacy and all the candidates. And I'm going to give closing points and then any additional questions. So got to admit somebody real quick. So everybody, this is Dan O'Neill, and I'm going to go ahead and let him take it away real quick. All right.
So Alex, do you want me to go first, or do you want to do a quick round robin so everybody can meet everybody? What do you think?
We can do that real quick. So
okay,
I'll start with you, Dan.
Let me just say I'm Dan O'Neill. I'm the state coordinator for PDA in Arizona. And I'm on national staff, and my passion is immigration reform, among a whole bunch of other things. So I'm going to pass it over to Charles. Charles, so really brief, and introduce yourself. What city you're from?
I'm from Michigan. I'm the secretary of the Tuscola County Democratic Party.
There you go. Thank you, Charles. Let's go to Steve Walker.
Yeah, hello. I live in Southwest Detroit, which means I'm active in the 13th Congressional District. I've been involved for a long time. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Steve. Dennis Bryant.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dennis Bryant, current chair of the Progressive Caucus of the Michigan Democratic Party. My term will be ending on Saturday, and a couple of things that I'm passionate about is Medicare for all and a $15 an hour minimum wage, and money out of politics.
There you go. Dennis slipped 3 things in there. Way to go, Dennis. Mary O'Neill.
Yes, Presque Isle, Michigan, and I'm the secretary of the Presque Isle County Democratic Party.
Wow. Great. Thank you, Mary. Okay, let's go to Sherry on an iPad.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Sherry Block from Carroll, Michigan. And this is my first meeting.
There you go. Thank you, Sherry. Mike Stanton?
Yes, that's correct. Hi, I'm Mike, and I'm from Flushing, Michigan.
All right.
What city, Mike?
Flushing.
Okay, great. All right, Kim.
Boy, hang on. Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, we hear you.
Oh, okay. My first time. I just signed on. I got an invite today, I think, from Sherry and Carol today. So that's why I'm here.
Nice to meet you, Kim.
What city, Kim?
Oh, I live in Augrey, Michigan.
Fantastic. Okay, Tom Hilliard. Thomas You have to unmute, Tom. Okay, well, oh, there you go. Tom, can you give a shout out? Okay, well, Tom's shouting out, figuring out the technology. Let's go to Matt Faust. Matt.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Matt Fouts. I am on staff of PDA National as the social media coordinator.
Thank you, Matt. Okay.
Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids is in the house. Sue Cook.
Yes. Yes.
Sue, just say hi. What city you're from?
Hi, I'm from Kingston, Michigan and Tuscola County.
Fantastic.
There you go. And Mary.
Is it Ruthko?
Yes.
It is. It's Mary Ruthko.
Ruthko, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be. Yeah, so I live in Caro in Tuscola County and super excited to be here. Thank you.
And we're super excited to have you. All right.
Joy?
Who am I missing here?
Joy?
So Joy, do we get Joy?
Hi, I'm Joy. I'm in Chicago, but I'm here for solidarity. I think it's great.
Right. Hey, Chicago's here for solidarity. Okay.
I love it. Hey, I'm all about it.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Joy. And let's see. Do we anybody who hasn't had a chance to shout out, say hi, what city they're from?
Alex Kirsch.
Yes, sir.
Where's Alex?
I'm right here.
Alex hasn't said where.
Oh,
he's
Alex.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a full introduction for myself.
Alex gonna do a full thing later. Yeah.
But I live in Caro as well. I'm the vice chair of the Tuscola County Democratic Party. So Chuck and I see each other all the time. So
there you go. Anyway, thank you everybody for being on the call. I think it's great that we all get to briefly say hi. In the coming weeks and months, you guys are going to hopefully get to know each other as we get this chapter started. I want to thank everybody for being on. I really want to thank Alex for stepping up and taking the lead on this. If it wasn't for Alex, none of this would have happened. I'm going to give a quick down and dirty history of PDA and a little bit about what we would like to do on this call for people who are unfamiliar. Now, some of you are familiar with us, and it's okay. PDA started in 2004 out of the Dennis Kucinich and the Howard Dean campaigns. There was a meeting in Boston, a historic meeting in Boston that brought Howard Dean, Dennis Kucinich, Jesse Jackson, a whole bunch of activists together in a church in Roxbury. And out of that meeting, where hundreds of people met who were dissatisfied with what was going on in the Democratic Party at that time and wanted to move the party kicking and screaming to the left and to its its FDR Jesse Jackson roots. So we started PDA and developed really quickly an important strategy called inside outside, and a lot of you know about that. I mean, we in PDA work inside the Democratic Party, and we also work outside the Democratic Party in the social movements that help push the issues from the outside to the inside. Because there's a lot of street heat, a lot of active community organizations, and a lot of issues that are like Medicare for all. Like women's rights, like all kinds of things that civil rights, that those things start on the out on the outside of this in the social movements, and then but we got to get it inside and get legislation to get it to pass, get progressive things to pass, and elect progressive members of the Senate and the House in order to do that. So that's kind of our strategy. We have about 25 to 30 active chapters around the country. And we also have several other chapters that are in different states of activity. Some are doing good, some are having some issues, but we're working on them. So On paper, we have almost 60 chapters, but in terms of active chapters, about 30. We work closely with the Congressional Progressive Caucus in the House of Representatives. We have weekly meetings with people with other progressive organizations and coalitions. On our board, for example, we have people like PDA board. We have people like Keith Ellison, Barbara Lee, Congressman Raul Grijalva, Tom Hartman, Medea Benjamin of Code Pink. But if you need to mute, it would be great. Belen Cisa, the dreamer. So a cross section of activists and congressional leaders on our National Advisory Board. We believe that our job right now, our task, is to help expose, help the fight against Trump and the MAGA agenda. That's number one. And spontaneous protests and activity is going on all over the country right now around that. Number two, elect progressive champions, both on the national and on the local level. And number three, to help build the greater, how you call it, Bernie Sanders inspired progressive movement for social change. So those are kind of like three things that we, in the broader picture, are tasked to do. One of the tasks that I would hope, and Matt agrees with, Alex agrees with me on this, that we would like out of this meeting of how many people, 16 people, that we come out of this a Michigan State chapter, and eventually that Michigan State chapter can satellite off into chapters in Detroit or Ann Arbor or other places. But let's get this Michigan State chapter together first, and people can share best practices around the state. So in order to do that, is it okay, Matt, to go into chapter roles right now? Yep. Alex?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So in order to do that, at some point in the meeting, we would like people to either step up or volunteer in order to get it. We need 5 people to have an official chapter, but each chapter has a chapter leader or co-leader. Sometimes chapters have a co-leader. Number 2, a liaison coordinator, and the liaison coordinator is the person who works with your local state representative's office. You know, you take legislation and try to get your local state representative to join on to that important legislation, Medicare for all, whatever it is, right? Third thing is an outreach coordinator, someone who does work with other, that can bring coalition work with other organizations and do outreach, chapter outreach. Number 4 is a social media person, and they will coordinate with Matt, who is on our call right now and is from Grand Rapids, to be the national, work with the national social media coordinator and do things like whatever you guys do, Facebook, Instagram. Matt knows them all, and I could bring Matt on here in a second. And then the 5th thing is fundraising, and nobody wants to do fundraising, but that's always an issue. So, and I can help work with the fundraising person because I have some experience on that. And the last one is phone banking coordinator, and that would work with Mike Fox, our deputy director, who coordinates one of the most powerful phone banks in the country, PDA's National Phone Bank Team. So, and I think with 16 people on the call, or I think somebody just dropped out, 15 people on the call, we can fill those key roles. And walk out of here in 45 minutes with a chapter. With that said, I'm going to hand it over to Alex. Thank you, Alex. I'm sure there may be questions, and I don't know how you want to handle that. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll try to go through this like as much as possible. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing the screen again because we're going to continue with the presentation. Dan, thank you so much for kind of giving an overview of what PDA does and what it specializes in and the purpose behind it. So, but we'll go ahead and continue with the presentation. Can everybody still see the screen?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So basically, this is the mission statement that I created for the Michigan chapter. We live in a great state, whether you're a Yooper or a Lower Peninsula resident, rural and urban. We are all tied together for the singular cause of democracy, freedom, opportunity, and to keep everyone who votes Democrat or just simply leans left informed of all the issues that concern the state, and to also keep people informed of the issues in the nation. We're all in this fight together, and our goal is to show a united front. Now, we may not all agree on the same issues, but that's okay. But I also want us to create a space where people are going to be able to engage in good faith, because I don't think I would be out of line to saying that there is kind of like a divide amongst people. And I kind of want to not really put a stop to it, but at least like I want people to feel like they can engage in good faith, whether they agree or disagree on a topic. Sorry if I spelled Yooper wrong. That's my fault. I'm not originally from Michigan, so I have an excuse for that. But yeah, I want us all to understand that like there are some issues that like we may not exactly like agree on, like whether it's healthcare or something like that. But the thing is, we need to show united front is like, listen, we have a common goal right now, and that's to find people and to agree on certain issues and address these progressive issues, because I feel progressive issues is pushing us forward in the right direction. And as of right now, there are people that are really disheartened with what's going on right now. But that's why I feel like us starting chapters like this, us keeping each other informed, us talking amongst one another to help one another, because, you know, I live in, like myself and Chuck and Mary, we live in a very conservative part of the state of Michigan, and it's pretty rough. I live in the thumb.
Your coffee with the vitamins now?
Huh?
Keeping my coffee with the
You
vitamins.
had it sitting on the shelf with your vitamins.
Okay.
Oh.
If you're not talking, you need to mute, please.
I thought somebody was asking me a question. So I'm just going to go ahead and mute everybody, if that's okay. No, don't take it personal. Just anyway. So anyway, as I was saying, so like I feel like a lot of us, like in Michigan, like for example, I don't know if there's like a lot of communications between the urban and the rural communities, and that's the thing I want to do. That's one of the reasons I wanted to start this chapter. So anyway, pushing forward. So I'm going to introduce myself real quick. So my name is Alex Kirsch, and like I said, I'm not originally from the state of Michigan. I'm originally from the state of Oregon, but I enlisted in the Army in August of 2001. September 11th was my 4th day of basic training, actually, so that was kind of a shock for myself. I did 20 years in the United States Army. After I retired from the Army down to Georgia, my wife is actually from Michigan, and we moved up here in 2021. And what's it called? For the longest time, I was a staunch independent, but let's just say that the current resident in the White House, when he won the election, I started pushing myself towards more progressive issues. And in 2020, I voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris proudly. And then in 2024, I proudly voted for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And it's just because like ever since like how this election's gone, I've tried my best to like, now I feel like I've gotten too complacent. So I try my best to get as involved as possible. And when I was down in Lansing last year, I got to actually shake hands with the governor. As you can see in that picture right there. That was in the, what's it called? That was the convention that took place in Lansing. So I got to see Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett speak. I got to see, what's his name? The head of the UAW.
Sean Fain.
Sean Fain, that's who it is. Yeah, sorry. But I get to see and meet some great people down there. But I'm hoping to like expand this to like where everybody can kind of come together. So that's like my main purpose right here. And like I said, I mean, I want to thank everybody that's been a part of this. So, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and continue on with this. So why have a PDA chapter for the state of Michigan? You know, when I first got introduced to the PDA, you know, I didn't really know what it was. My friend April Ostentowski, who ran for the 98th district for representative, she's the one that told me about it. And I first tuned into a meeting. I was like, this is good stuff right here, because they basically talk a lot about the issues that are affecting the entire country. And, you know, he talked about like Mike Fox talks a lot about phone banking, that phone banking is really, really important. Like, I'm not much of a phone banker myself, but I was trying to reach out to people to attend this meeting right here. But it's important because that way you can find out if this person is interested and wants to get involved more with what we got going on. But anyway, what's really good about it is the fact that PDA brings on some very significant guests. Like, for example, one time they had Congressman Rural Caucus from the state of California. And just last weekend, once again, they had former Senator Nina Turner. And I actually had a chance to ask her a question. That was a great conversation, though, because I feel like we learned so much from one another, especially, and she's very, very passionate about the issues like as far as social justice, equality across the board. These are the issues that, you know, we really need to kind of dive down on. But she also talks about like how we need to focus on what makes us progressives and like what is the most important issue. What are the issues that we can get people to come to our side with, which I think is really, really important. But they do a great deal of talking about networking across the state. I want to bring that to this state specifically. How we can work together for the next election. And I want to get started right now because 2026 is going to be here before we know it. We're going to have Congress people running. We're going to have people that are due for re-election. For example, we've got Lisa McClain. She's going to be running for office again. You know, whoever is running against her in the 9th Congressional District, we do our part to support him any way we can. Last time it was Clint St. Mosley. Fantastic guy. And I really feel like he could have been a great congressman, but it's just because she has so much influence in this area, it's hard to kind of compete with that because she's so well established right now. But again, I just want to find ways like how we can support our candidates going forward. And that's where this networking comes in. I want to work on phone banking, canvassing, like what works for you. Because like canvassing might work for one area, and maybe you can like pass on that knowledge to like another areas like, hey, listen, this is what we did canvassing wise. This is how we did door knocking. And like, this is the issues we came across. How to get signs, because signs was a really big issue this last election cycle, but there is a reason for that. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer it though. Working within your community, what are some issues? What are some ways you can kind of get the Democratic message out there? What kind of work can you do within your community to kind of get the name out there essentially? Because some of the things like, for example, we've done in Tuscola County Democratic Party is like we've done food banks. We've done, you know, like one of our members got us lists of people of families less fortunate. And we always, and, you know, we don't like tell them this is from the Tuscola County. We just do this because it's the right thing to do. It's called taking care of the community, because we want to show is like, listen, we still want to take care of those within our community because, you know, for example, like food banks and like providing gifts and whatnot to the less fortunate is just a solid human thing to do. And it doesn't matter your political affiliation. We just want to look out for all of our neighbors. And it's just, that's what we believe in here. I just really want us to get that Democratic message out there because people can tie into our messaging, but it's all about like, how do we reach out to them? How do we connect with those, even if they happen to be like, might lean a little bit more conservative? How do we kind of bring them, reel them in basically, and like get them to our side essentially? Because there are people out there that probably are moderate. They're kind of like riding the fence, riding down the middle on some issues. So how is it we kind of bring them to our side more often? So here's the Democratic Convention that's coming up.
Alex?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. Before we go into the convention, there may be some people who have questions for you on some of the stuff that you just laid out. I think it would be good to maybe open it up for 5 minutes to see if people have any questions.
Okay.
Or for me, or for PDA National.
All right. If you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. I'll call upon you, and I'll just ask you to unmute if you have any questions going forward. Does anybody have any questions? All right. Go ahead, Dennis.
Thank you. Well, going back to the November election of last year, so there are progressives that are as we know, as we saw, was one issue was one issue. They're one issue progressives. And how can we hold on.
Sure. He just said just 1
Alex,
second.
I think Dennis, we lost him, but
No, he says he'll be right back. He said just 1 second. That's all.
okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Not a problem. It's okay. All right, not a problem.
So my question, I guess it's more of a comment. So there's a lot of people that are progressives. They're just one issue progressives.
Right.
Like, i.e. the war, which, and, and which kind of, I guess, what's the word I'm putting it? It kind of, pushes back from the, to push the progressive agenda forward.
Yeah. So let me try to answer that. Just Dennis, PDA is a multi-issue organization. There's no doubt about it. We take all the progressive issues we're involved in. Now, we do unite with organizations or groups or individuals when we can that are involved with single issue. So if there's a climate activist, young people who are involved in climate activity, we join with them if we can, right? If there are people who are their sole issue is peace and against war, well, we can join with them to the extent, but we also want to put forth our full platform. I don't know if that helps out or not, but that's where PDA is at. Yeah.
Well, just going back to the election. I know there's folks that weren't 100% with the former vice president,
right.
And which kind of costed Democrats the election. I mean, it's just something that I kind of understand, but how can you vote for a guy with 30 plus felonies, and constant lawsuits, paying off strippers versus a prosecutor, U.S. senator, and a vice president.
Right.
I understand there's further stuff within the Democratic, within the DNC, which isn't cool. For example, not having a primary, which that isn't cool. So I guess I
don't think Dennis. Yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry to interrupt you, but we have to get another question. But I don't think anybody in PDA voted for Trump, and I don't think too many progressives voted for Trump. Now there was some weird stuff, and there was some, especially in Michigan, it got really contentious over the war in Gaza. I understand, yeah, but
I actually got to step in on that real quick. I mean, Dennis, you're 100% correct, because the one thing is like I actually spoke to a gentleman that lives in Dearborn because I wanted to get his input on like the general atmosphere around the election last year, because the one thing I wanted to find out, because people are saying, well, a lot of these people are finding out like the actions have consequences, and they're trying like after the election was over with, I saw a lot of Democrats blaming each other for like how the election turned out. The one community I will never, ever, ever blame for that is the Arab community, because it's such a hard sell to get them to vote when they feel like it's a lose-lose situation for them. And I don't honestly blame them. So I brought that up to him, and he told me it's just like, so I asked him, like, how it felt. And he's like, well, a lot of Democrats, like prominent Democrats, didn't come to the area and like didn't come to speak to us. And he says, and like Trump came down, and yeah, it might have been for show, but optics is everything. It absolutely is everything. And there's a lot of Arab voters right now that's like, well, I shouldn't have voted for Trump in the first place. And I get that, but it's such a hard sell.
You know what?
And I asked him, he's like, so what should the Democratic Party do? What should the
Okay. Janet, you need.
Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, he basically I asked him, it's like, so what can the Democratic Party do to kind of like get back in the graces of like the citizens of Dearborn? It's like, just make us part of the conversation. Just invite us to these, make us a part of the, like invite us to talk on these issues and stuff like, and I'm perfectly okay at that. So go ahead, Mary. Go ahead, unmute. I got you.
Sorry, thank you. Okay, yeah, I mean, I really appreciate that we're there. I've been having a really difficult time with the results of the election, as I'm assuming that the rest of you are too. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. What I'm concerned about is that, you know, if we're trying to get a new movement in Michigan started, that we don't get mired in rehashing the election and focusing on how we're going to move forward from here, because I don't know that we have that kind of time. But it's important that, you know, that we do, you know, we have an outlet to talk about that with people. But just like for today's purposes, can you maybe talk a little bit more about how PDA works with, or like what is the relationship with the Democratic Party proper? You know, because two-party system. So like, yes, we're Democrats. I know you've been talking about it a little bit, but I know that first thing people would ask is like, well, how is that different? Why is it specifically different from just being a Democrat? If you wouldn't mind.
Go ahead, Dan. Okay. You got this.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Here in Arizona, I'm in Arizona, so we encourage our members to become members of the Progressive Caucus and of the Arizona Democratic Party, to get involved with the Democratic Party at the local level and get elected if they can to the state committee. I'm on the state committee, which is the leadership body of the party, and other members of PDA are on that also, that body, and we have that way. We kind of have a seat at the table and some decision making. Now that's, but it's not easy. It's not easy. There's always a tug and struggle, and we elected a chair, and then 2 years later, who was a progressive. 2 years later, we had to get rid of her and elect somebody else because she wasn't doing what she was supposed to be doing. So anyway, that battle continues within the Democratic Party. And PDA continues to try to stay true to our progressive roots and our issues, okay? But it's not easy. And you can see the ceasefire sign behind me. We fought for resolutions on ceasefire in the Arizona Democratic Party, okay? So yeah, it's a battle, okay? And we know that a new chapter, that'll be contentious and it'll be tough. But you guys have a Progressive Caucus. Dennis has done a great job from what I understand. And Steve Walker, who I talked to earlier, is also in that Progressive Caucus. I'm not sure if other people are. So I don't know if that answers the question, Mary, but we encourage people to get involved. Now, we also, just on a side quick, we also know that that's tough, and not every member in PDA wants to get involved in the Democratic Party. They want to do other things, and that's okay also. You know, if you're an environmentalist and you want to work with PDA on environmental issues, but you're not going to get involved with the Democratic Party, it's too difficult. Well, that's fine also. You know, you come to PDA meetings and talk about what you guys are doing around environmental issues. So, or women's issues, or immigration. Here in Arizona, immigration is huge, you know, a big issue. So anyway, I hope I answered the question. Sorry to take so long. I did see Steve shaking his head when Alex was talking. I don't know if Steve wants to jump in or not. Yeah. No. Anybody else have any questions for Alex or me?
I don't know if it's a question, but I feel like you're asking about issues. I feel like every day there becomes a new issue.
Right.
Like, let's take Gaza. Europe doesn't like us. Canada, I mean, I think they're making more issues. It's not just women's rights and all that. It's scary. I'm sorry. I'm just not proud of our country right now. No, I am proud of us, but not, Yeah, you know.
I understand. One thing I'm telling people is that like the one thing we can't do is like people are saying I'm ashamed of being American. It's like you don't want to be ashamed of being American. You should only be ashamed if you give up on fighting. And I believe in fighting back 100%. And I believe all of us here in this room, that's why we're all here. We want to continue to fight. And I'm not talking about like physically fight. We're talking about like legislatively fighting, getting out there, like getting our message out. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about doing, you know, being an advocate, being an activist. That's the stuff that I want us to keep doing because like I don't care, but I'm gonna continue this fight because I'm you know I'm about to be 42 years old. I did 20 years in the army and I don't even recognize my own country anymore sometimes. And I hate saying it like that, but that's why I'm in this fight. I'm in it to win it basically. And you know what? I'll take my licks. And if I don't win this battle, there's always another battle to fight.
I know he won the election, but I truly think there's more of us that feel like that than the other way. I just hope so. I pray, but okay.
Yep.
You're right, Kim. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah. Kim, what city are you from?
I live up in Eau Gray. I'm
Right.
on Iosco County. I'm a part of that Democratic Party.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Excellent.
yeah.
Great. I think somebody new just joined. Judy
Yeah.
just.
Judy Wensley, yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and continue with the presentation. Does anybody else have any other questions before I proceed? Okay. Excellent. All right. Everybody see the presentation still? All right. All right. So the Michigan Democratic Convention is this weekend, the 22nd, right? At the Detroit Marriott Renaissance Center at 400 Renaissance Drive, West Detroit, Michigan, 48243. So that's the location for it. Everybody knows the Renaissance Center if you're especially in the state of Michigan. You'll be able to look up on the Michigan Democratic page, like as far as like all the times. I tried to look it up, but the system kept on crashing for me. It's the internet sometimes cuts in and out on me, so I'm sorry I didn't provide it today. I will provide to you the information as far as the parking is concerned. Go ahead, Dennis.
Just FYI, our caucus our progressive caucus will start at 9 a.m.
Okay, excellent.
And let me go into my gallery real quick here.
Sure.
And our caucus will be in the LaSalle room on the 5th floor, beginning at 9 o'clock.
All right. Well, I look forward to meeting you actually in person because I'll be going down there this weekend as well. So for credentialing to be eligible to vote at the state convention, a person must satisfy the membership requirements, meaning that you actually have to have been a member of the Democratic Party exactly 1 month before the convention starts. So basically, if you're not already a member, like if you're not contributing to the Democratic Party for the state of Michigan, you're not going to be able to take part in the convention, essentially. I mean, you can still attend, but you just can't take part in like the voting process. You must be successfully credentialed to the Votes electronic voting system. If people are not aware, you can actually find that app on your phone, the Google Store or the Apple Store. Just type in Votes, VOATZ, and then you'll create your account from there. To sign candidate petitions and vote at the Spring State Convention. Once again, you must be able to satisfy the requirements in order to participate in that voting process. Now, they're going to now, when I went to the convention last year, basically what happens is they announce who's up next and who you're going to vote for. And then what you do is you do a little test run just to make sure that the system works. Like they'll ask you who was the first president of the United States. And then once you answer that question, it says, okay, that's correct, basically. This just goes to show that the app is actually working and it's going to get uploaded to their database, essentially. So that's how that credentialing basically works. So parking right here, you've got a few different options. If anybody needs to take this down real quick, I'll have it up for a bit. So you got the valet parking at the hotel entrance. You also got the place garage. I can't pronounce that. Sorry. Port Atwater garage and the center garage. It basically has all the rates right there. So that way, if you want to take the time, like for example, if you do valet parking, you'll do $40 per day for guests and visitors. For 8 hours is $30. 24 hours is $40 basically. And is it Bobian? Is that how you pronounce it? Okay.
Yes.
It's basically like it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and $25 maximum per day. So I'm just gonna probably park there and just eat the $25. That's fine. And then Port Atwater Garage. Does somebody have a question?
Alex?
Yes, sir.
I can give you a short overview of the convention. It's a one-day convention. In the morning, various caucuses meet, the Environmental Caucus, the Rural Caucus, as Dennis said, the Progressive Caucus, the Latino Caucus, the Black Caucus. Then we go into meetings by congressional district, where you're going to elect your congressional district officers, the chair and whatever. And then in the afternoon will be the plenary session where we elect the state Democratic chair. Of course, there's two candidates running.
Yep. I'm going to cover them in a second. So
yeah, so that's basically how the day works out.
Yeah. And from what I understand, voting is going to start at 3 p.m. for the chair, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, that's the plenary session. I
Yep.
don't know how soon they'll get to the vote on chair, but
Yep.
it'll be sometime from 3 to 5.
You guys are going to be there all afternoon. Wow.
Oh yeah, I'll be there all day. So.
You know what, Alex, you're going to at some point put your email and phone number in the chat. So anybody who is planning on going to the convention, if they have questions about any of this stuff,
I'll drop my phone number in the, so if people want to text, if you're going to call me, please text me first so I know who's calling me, because typically if I see a number I don't recognize, I usually don't answer it just because there's robocalls out there. And again, if you see a Oregon phone number, that's because I keep my Oregon phone number. So
there you go.
But yeah, that's my phone number. Feel free to text me with your name and then I'll save you in my contact list. So
and the same with Steve or Dennis, if you guys want to put your email in the chat, because you guys have experience being members of the caucus. I would sure like to, Alex, see if we can get a PDA table set up at the caucus meeting. That would be great, to sign people up,
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll see about it. So
yeah.
So anyway, the candidates for the Michigan Democratic
if you want to pay a little bit to the Democratic Party, they'll let you set up a table in the lobby. I assume Dennis can arrange for you to have a table in the Progressive Caucus meeting room.
Yeah, I think that would be the main place to have a table, right there in the Progressive Caucus. Yeah, quietly, saying hi to people and if they wanted to join. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll talk to Dennis later. I can talk to Dennis later about how to do that. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So
I interrupted Alex again.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's all right. I'm used to it. So anyway, so here's our first candidate, Curtis Hertel Jr. He's the former state senator for the 23rd district. He's been endorsed by Governor Gretchen Whitmer. I don't really know a whole lot about him. I just know that he's fairly popular, and there are members of the Progressive Party that seem to think he's a pretty, straight shooter kind of guy. I didn't get a chance to listen to him when he was part of the Rural Caucus meeting, but some people seem to like him. Like I said, he's good friends with the governor, and there's a lot of other people like within our legislative body that seem to have a great deal of respect for him. We'll see how that goes, like as far as like should he win the nomination.
Yeah, frankly, the candidates for the UAW usually are successful, so you can sort of assume that Curtis Hertel is probably going to get elected.
Okay. The second candidate. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Steve. I'm sorry. I don't want to seem like I'm ignoring you or something like that. So we got about 15 minutes or so. The second candidate that we have is Al Williams, former candidate for representative of Michigan's 3rd district, and he was a community organizer and a businessman.
Okay.
And what's it called? The other person that was originally part of the candidacy was Mark Ludwig. He was the former chair of the Rural Caucus, but he's now running for second vice chair for Curtis Hertel as of right now. Oh, yes, Dennis, what you got?
Oh, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Yeah, that's all. That's basically it. He was originally part of the race, but then he decided to drop out to support Curtis Hertel for second vice chair. So go ahead, Dennis.
Well, I just wanted to let everybody know that the caucus is going to have a Zoom call on the 20th to have both candidates speak. So if you can, I put my number in the chat. So if you could if anybody wants that information on the Zoom link, please text me and I will text you back the Zoom link.
Fantastic. I saved your number, Dennis, so I'll be sure to text you.
So that's cool. Thank you, Dennis.
No
All right,
problem.
So the Michigan Rural Summit, the Great Revival, basically it's like where a lot of members of the Rural Caucus are going to basically gather together. This is the head chair right now is Joe Katowski. Joe Katowski is a great guy. Him and I talk all the time as frequently as he can, but he's a very busy guy because he's basically got everybody and their mother basically calling him saying, "Hey, can you get this done?" Really fantastic guy though. He's very receptive. He's very good about getting you in contact with other lobbyists or other legislators and stuff. He's basically guaranteeing that there's going to be a few candidates that are running for governor. They're going to be up there at this caucus. He's also suggested that Michael Moore, the director, is going to be up there to speak at one of the events. It's April 10th to the 12th of this year. It's going to be located at the Kewadin Casinos Hotel in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Here's the address. The registration and payment can be found on the Michigan Democratic Rural Caucus website at MDP Rural Caucus, all one word, lowercase, .com, / Rural Summit. So if you just type in MDP Rural Caucus, you'll be able to find out just click on the Michigan Rural Summit, Great Revival, and it'll take you right to that. Right. Anybody need to see this, or am I free to proceed? Okay. So what is your role in the revival to be? Through local leadership, community building, and organizing, our work starts now to build this power and strategies to move rural Michigan forward. We need your voice and energy in this effort. Join us to process what has happened, what's next, and strengthen the collective commitment to our democratic message. From April 10th to the 12th, we plan to bring together rural activists, candidates, and elected officials, along with other organizations working in rural organizing to learn, discuss, and collaborate on improving the lives of our rural Michigan neighbors. I'm not sure if there are like any urban caucuses or get-togethers. If there is, please let me know so I can actually add that in. I'm going to add somebody else in here that's a Zoom user. But if there's actual like progressive caucus meetings or like retreats or anything where people can kind of come together, like some kind of a convention, because I'm not aware of one. I tried looking it up and I couldn't see anything. If there is something like that, like if there's one event in Detroit, if there's a situation in Flint or Dearborn, please let me know so I can add that to like whatever next meeting I might have, because I want people that are interested to come to these meetings, because once again, it's all about that networking. I'm all about the networking. So the financial support to have the rural voices heard, it's the $50 for student or young Democrat, $250 for 2-day summit and registration, and $350 for registration to assist with scholarships. And basically the price just keeps going up. So I don't know if I'll be able to attend that because it seems a bit steep, but I got to talk with Joe Katowski to find out more about the registration, but he has to get back to me still. So, oops.
Hey, yeah.
Yes. What you got, Dan?
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt again, Alex. I'm just being conscious of time.
Yeah.
It's 12:48, and we have a big job yet to do, and that is try to get leadership roles in our and see if the group of 16 of us want to start a chapter. Well, and that could take a while. So I just wanted to be conscious of that.
I got you. I'm just gonna. I've only got a few slides left, and then I'll kind of like when we do the closing arguments, we'll get to our closing statements. We'll start like thinking. Basically, if you're considering of like being a part of like helping out this PDA Michigan chapter, just feel free to write in the comment section, and Dan can either answer those questions like which ones it is, real quickly. I know he talked about it at the very, very beginning of the call, so I'll go to.
But more than just people putting their questions, which they should do, I think on this call we should get volunteers to take up leadership roles, and then we can walk away with a chapter. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna try to do that like towards the end of the call. So I'll just breeze through these gubernatorial candidates real quick. So as you can see, one of the candidates for governor is Jocelyn Benson, who's the current Secretary of State. She announced her candidacy on the 22nd of January. Very, very popular. A lot of people seem to like her. She's very receptive, and she's very, very knowledgeable when it comes down to like the legal issues, especially like when it comes to voting and whatnot. So people really seem to like her. Christopher Swanson, who's the sheriff of Genesee County. He announced his candidacy on the 8th of February. He spoke at the DNC. Republican is Eric Nesbitt. As of right now, he's the only person I know that has announced his candidacy. He's a former Michigan State Republican. Mike Dugan, who is the current mayor for the city of Detroit, he announced his candidacy in January. So those are the 3 candidates as of right now, the ones that have officially announced themselves. And for the U.S. Senate, we've got Mallory McMorrow, who's the state senator for the 8th District. Pete Buttigieg, the former Secretary of Transportation and the former mayor of South Bend. He has not confirmed, but he is considering it to run for the U.S. Senate, taking over Gary Peters' spot. And we've got Abdul Al-Sayed, the director of Department of Health and Human Services and Veteran Services for Wayne County. Not yet confirmed, but in strong consideration for it. So closing thoughts, this is where we're going to kind of come into it. So once again, we're looking for volunteers. Dan, you want to once again cover the responsibilities, all the different positions, because we've already got a coordinator, which is myself, but if anybody wants to be a co-coordinator, I welcome those that want to help out for that. So
yeah, so let's have a full screen if that's possible.
Sure.
And then is there anybody? I certainly think Alex should be the coordinator or one of the co-coordinators. Does anybody want to volunteer to help him out? Alex is rural. Maybe if there's a person in a urban area that might want to join to help him out.
That'd be great.
If not, we're gonna. If it's okay, we'll pick Alex, and people can volunteer later if they want to. It's okay. Okay. Second is liaison coordinator. The liaison coordinator is a fun job. You get to actually help coordinate around the state people meeting with in their legislative districts offices. So it would be, I don't know how many House members you guys have? Did somebody know?
13.
13. Thank you, Steve. So maybe we're going to volunteer Steve. 13. There's 13. That would mean the liaison coordinator would work with those 13 offices to get people around the state from PDA to be the coordinator. So let's say it's Steve. Steve would work with Gordon in his congressional district, and then he would work with Mary in her congressional district, for example, to be the coordinator and the link between issues that PDA is involved in and that congressional district. So
Mary just asked, I'm not a paid member of the party. How does that affect my ability to volunteer?
What's that?
Mary just asked, I'm not a paid member of the party. How does that affect my ability to volunteer?
Oh, you can still volunteer. This is you're a PDA activist, so you can do whatever you want. Mary, your congressional district, I'm not sure what city you're in, but you can be you're a member of the Michigan Democratic Party, and you're a PDA member. So you can go to your congressional district and say, this is the issue that we're organizing right now, and here's a letter that we would like this our congressperson, he or her, to sign on to, for example. So
I think 6 of the Congress people are Democrats.
Okay, so we would focus on those 6 Democrats, right? We do have a revised letters and how to work with Republicans, but it would be concentrating on those 6 Democrats to get them to sign on to progressive legislation. Because we know that some of our Democrats sign on and some don't. Here in Arizona, Raul Grijalva always signs on to the progressive stuff, right? But Ruben Gallego, yeah, sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he, gives us the middle finger, and we're not too happy with him. But so we go to his office and we protest, or we we have a friendly conversation with them, depending on what the situation is. Okay, so we would need a liaison coordinator. Does anybody want to volunteer to do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Steve, I love you. Way to
Thank you,
go.
Steve.
Thank you, Steve. So we got Alex, and then we got Steve. Okay. And the next is outreach. So the outreach coordinator basically coordinates the PDA chapter with other organizations. So, and does outreach to those organizations. And so here in Arizona, again, I have to use my example. So what we do, we'll send people to Lucha, and Lucha is very active in immigration reform. So we go to Lucha to their meetings and say, hi, we're with PDA. What are you guys doing? How can we help? And the Lucha people say, well, we're going to do this, this, and this. And we join with them. And that shows solidarity and unity between the two different organizations. And they will reciprocate when we ask them, hey, we're going to be doing this. They'll send somebody to whatever we're doing. And that kind of solidarity is absolutely needed in this climate now with Trump. Okay, so we'll reach out to different activist organizations and organizations within the party. So that's what the outreach person does. Who wants to be the outreach person? Who would like to volunteer? Going once? Going twice?
Hi, listen, if I may, I'm trying to absorb all of this stuff, and I'm a very visual person.
Okay.
So for me, it would be really helpful if I had like a list to look at with the duties so that I can see maybe where my talents best fit and then volunteer for that position. Because I would love to, I'm a Bernie crap basically. So
am I. Way to go, Mary.
So I'm happy to, but I'm a marketing manager. I ran a nonprofit for 15 years. I've done a lot of the things that would be, I could do a lot of different things, but I also need to check with my work.
Okay,
just
Mary,
to make sure that I'm not. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. So I have a whole 5-page PDA introduction paper that I could send you. It's basically PDA 101 with a good description of all of these 6 things. And we can, through Alex, we can get that to you, or I can get that to you. Okay. But in the meantime, if your passion is outreach or social media or fundraising or phone banking, please join. And none of this is written in stone. You guys can work this out at the next meeting in a better way. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but Mary is thinking about it. She wants to do something.
Yep.
Right.
So what I'm going to try to do is I'm also going to Dan, if you could send me that list and I could put it on the Michigan chapter of the PDA on Facebook if people want to follow it there. I probably should have had that link at the ready, but I do not.
Yeah,
but
that's my fault. Yeah.
If anybody's interested in that, what I'll do is I will once again, you can shoot me a text or something like that, but I will actually start sharing that link out. And as a matter of fact, that email list that you sent me, Dan, I can actually compile that and I can send those links out to people. Like the one with the phone banking one, I can send those links out to people and stuff. So, and then
but the PDA startup kit that I sent you, you probably have it somewhere. And I apologize for not having the link right away. We could get that to people, and I think Mary would be. Mary, let's revisit with you and maybe go to social media. You would be working with Matt. Did Matt drop off?
He dropped off. So
okay, so Matt left his.
There's the link to the PDA Michigan meeting right there. So for the Facebook page right there. So if you want to go on to there, so I'll start adding stuff in there, but he's got to make me the host first. So we're at 1 minute right now, so we got to kind of push through this real quick. So
okay, so Yeah, we'll probably end up going over a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. Is there anybody here with experience in social media who likes Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all of those fun things? We had a chapter call. Oh, Kim does? Way to go.
I go on Facebook. I fight the battle on there every day, but I'm just like basic, very basic.
Well, you can work with our
people on Facebook.
Kim, you could work with our social media person.
Okay, I saw that up there, so I will give him my email.
There you go. There you go.
I saw it on the questions. I'd rather do something with guidance, with lots of guidance, but
I'm the same exact way, Kim. I am the same exact way. So that's nothing to be ashamed about. Because like the thing is like I'm sort of like Mary. I'm a kinesthetic learner though. Like I need to like do it, like, and somebody has to show me how to do it. That way I can get it right.
Yeah.
So
well, Matt will work with you, Kim. Kim, what's your last name?
It's Egebrecht.
Can you spell?
Yeah, it's E-G-G.
Thanks for popping in, Steve.
Like write egg. Write the word egg.
Yeah.
E-B-R-E-C-H-T.
C-H. What was the last letter?
It's Egebrecht.
Okay. All right.
It's tough.
No, I'm sorry. I'm terrible. I can't hear very well because I'm
I can't talk very well, obviously, but okay.
No, you talk fine. I just couldn't hear you.
What you got, Dennis? Dennis, what you got?
Can drop it in the chat too.
You can drop your
comment. Yeah. Oh, geez, I lost you guys again.
Put your last name. Put your name in the chat. Yeah.
Okay, I will. I got out again, so hang on.
It's okay.
There we go. Okay, I will figure out how to do this.
All right.
I think. There you
Put
go
your
again.
name and city in the chat, and Mary, you also.
Dennis, what you got?
Yeah, I want to volunteer to do social media as well.
Okay.
Way to go, Dennis.
The more the merrier, honestly.
Okay, let me make sure I know what I'm doing here.
I just think that's something I'm active in, putting up things every day because I just can't stand the lies. Okay. I got to figure out how I can write on it.
Dennis and Kim both can help with social media.
All right.
And
I'll
both of you need to get in touch with Matt. He's our social media coordinator. He can help you.
I saw his email up here that way I can contact him, which I will.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay.
We already have a Michigan Facebook page, but he can help you become a manager of that page. You could put you can put important things that PDA is doing. You can put announcements about progressive things that are happening in the state, things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
Okay, they will send them to me and say, here, or you guys.
Well, yeah, either that or you find things that you think Alex might find something that's important. He'll say, hey, Kim, can you put this on our Facebook page?
Okay.
Or Dennis, can you put this on our Facebook page?
Okay.
Yeah. Or can you send this out to Instagram? This is something PDA.
I don't do Instagram though. I have to talk to my kids about that and figure it out.
Maybe Dennis does. Yeah.
I do Instagram, X, Facebook, and the newer one, Blue Sky.
Okay.
Blue Sky. Matt's really a big advocate for Blue Sky.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, we're getting close here. How about phone bank coordinator? So the phone bank coordinator is somebody who would get people in the chapter to join the phone bank so let's say we're going to support a congressional race where a progressive is running and the national phone team needs help in Florida. So maybe your phone bank person would join the phone bank, or your two phone bank people would join the phone bank and help out in Florida. But let's say in Michigan, you guys got a candidate that PDA wants to support. Then the whole national phone team, all 400 or 500 of them, will pile on and help you guys. So that's the way it works. And we need somebody in the chapter who will be responsible for working with Mike Fox. And some of you know who he is. He's our deputy director and a wild and crazy guy from Florida who on our town halls every Sunday, which is going to be in a couple of hours here.
In 1 hour. It actually starts in 1 hour. So
it starts in 1 hour. Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll see him on our. Actually, we should put the link for that in the chat so people can join.
I'll get it.
Yeah, I'm sure people are tired already. But anyway, does anybody want to help out with phone banking for the chapter? It's probably the easiest job. Nobody wants to be the phone banking coordinator. We need somebody.
I have a question.
Yes.
So would the phone banking consist of phone banking for statewide or county or local or?
Absolutely. In fact, Dennis, you bring up a good point. So PDA we are a federal PAC. Don't get scared. We're not a super PAC. Progressive Democrats of America. And then we have a 501c4, which is Progressives for Democracy in America, which is also PDA. And the 501c4 can, as many of you know, can work and do election activity in a state and local, right? And PDA can only do election activity with federal. So there's that division there. But the phone team can do both. So we will jump on a progressive who is running for for governor somewhere. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Dennis?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah. No, the phone bank team can do both. Yeah. All right. So we need a phone bank coordinator. We need a fundraising coordinator. And I know there's 6 people going to volunteer for that. So everybody wants to be the fundraising coordinator. Silence. Alex, I'm going to start.
About
What's that? Mary?
Tell me a little bit more about it.
Well, okay, so good question. Mary, it would be organizing maybe fundraisers that the local chapter wants to do. If let's say there's an event that you guys want to put on, but you need $400 to get a room or whatever it is, right? Then you would have a plan to try to raise money within the chapter. That would be one thing you might want to do. And I don't know, everything from asking people to donate to, cake sales. What the hell? But it would be local fundraising, right? Okay. And then let's say the national is doing a big campaign to increase sustainers. We live and die on sustainers, asking people to donate $5, $10 a month in our sustainer program. And we have people who donate $500 a month, and other people donate $5 a month. So that would be that person would be in charge of trying to increase our sustainer program within our chapter. So trying to get everybody in the chapter to become at least a $5 sustainer to PDA. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so participate in local and national fundraising campaigns and drives. Yeah. And if you're good at it, you can be really creative and do fun things. We also have a way where a chapter can get a Act Blue page and
I'll do it.
A percentage of the money goes to the chapter, right? We worked it out through NAC. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as I don't, do I personally have to handle like finances?
No, well, no,
that?
That's a good thing. None of that would be locally handled at all through national, all through the national PDA, right? Now, that doesn't mean that locally, if you have a meeting in Detroit and you want to pass the hat, you can do that, right? But anything in terms of big fundraising, you coordinate that with me or through the national team. Yeah. And that makes it easier on you because you have to get bank accounts and stuff like that. Yeah. So, Mary, is that what you want to do? Fundraising? I think, hey, Alex, I think we got a fundraising coordinator.
For this moment, yes, I will. I will. You can move. Oh, you can move forward. Yes, I'll for right now.
Yay! Yay!
As long as when I check with work, there isn't any kind of issue.
Did we get a liaison coordinator? I think we did, didn't we? Yeah, we got Steve, right?
Steve was that. Liaison.
Yep. Steve. Now all we need is outreach and phone banking, and we got a chapter go. Come on, guys. Somebody's got to step up. And here's another thing. You can volunteer for it now, and then later, let's say it's not your cup of tea, Alex finds somebody else to replace you, no problem. Yeah. So, phone bank coordinator. It's going to be Sherry. Sherry, you got it?
Sherry says no.
Sherry says no.
I'm sorry to just keep speaking without raising hand, but I know that you're trying to move along.
Yeah.
Listen, I know a lot of really great progressives. So I think that if you can't find anybody right this minute, that maybe, but if we can invite people to another meeting,
sure,
give them some of that information ahead of time, saying these are the positions that need to be filled. Let's just make the goal of the next meeting getting the whole thing pulled together. And I'm happy to.
Yeah, my goal is to have these meetings once a month because I know everybody's because like I still work full time. I'm going to be taking a 2-week break from work, voluntary layoff. But I'm going to be pushing out emails consistently because they gave me an email list of people, progressive Democrats in the state of Michigan. So I'm going to try to push out emails as much as I can. And I'm going to make sure part of the agenda is, and I'll just like, if anybody wants to volunteer for these positions, that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to do a lot of working with Dan and Mike and all the other members of PDA because I want to make sure that this thing is done right. I mean, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I just want to make sure I do it correctly, kind of deal, and I want to make sure that. Go ahead.
So, thank you, Alex. So, Mary, thank you. And I know you'll find somebody. So, until Mary finds somebody, can we just get 2 people to agree to be a placeholder for outreach and phone banking? 2 quick volunteers until Mary finds somebody else?
I could be a placeholder.
Okay, Dennis.
For outreach.
For outreach. Okay, thank you, Dennis.
Yeah, placeholder.
Yeah. Okay, I think we have a chapter. All we need is a phone bank coordinator. Easy. Work with me. I'll help you out. Do it. Gordon, Kim.
What is a phone bank coordinator's job?
Okay, Kim, all you're doing is working with Alex to get people in your chapter to join the national phone bank. And it would be simple. It's just Alex, for example, would at a chapter meeting, for example, next month, you would say, who would like to help be on the phone bank? And if you get 1 or 2 people, then you would send those names and emails to Mike Fox. And I'll work with you on it, Kim. I promise.
Okay, because I'm kind of confused. I have to call people. I do? Or send emails?
Yeah, you might be calling a couple of people. Yeah. It's easy peasy.
All right.
Okay. Okay, Kim's. Yay, we got Kim as phone bank.
Okay, you guys are going to guide me though, right?
We'll help you out as much as we can.
We're going to help you out. Okay.
Okay.
I'm all about helping out people. I'm not just gonna leave people high and dry. So, and if I'm not
Okay.
sure
So-
about, and here's the thing, if I'm not sure about something, I got Dan on speed dial basically, and he's got Mike Fox on speed dial. We're all in this together. Like I want us to like all help each other out. And if I can't help you out like right directly because I'm busy or something, I'll be sure somebody can help you out along the way. So
Okay, so quickly, Kim is on phone bank. We're going to help her out. Mary's on fundraising. We're going to help her out. Dennis is on outreach. We're going to help. He's ready to go. I'm sure we're going to help him out too. Steve's the liaison coordinator, and Alex is the chapter leader. Did we get a social media volunteer?
I think Dennis and
Dennis-
I are doing social
Yeah, oh,
media.
and Dennis.
Dennis.
Okay, and Dennis
Well,
is
we're going to
also-
contact Matt at
Yep.
PDA America.
yeah, and yeah,
Right,
right. Dennis and who else was the social media?
Dennis and Kim.
Kim.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
They're-
I'm on there all the time, so
Yep.
might as well.
Okay. All right. You guys, Alex, I think we have an official PDA chapter of Michigan. Woo.
Yep. And I will be in contact with everybody. I'll send a email. Kim, do you have an email address that I can send you information on?
Write it on the chat thing.
Yeah, feel free to write on the chat, and I'll copy and paste it, and I'll send out an email. And it's going to be it's the Gmail for our progressive PDA, Progressive Democrats of Michigan. That it's a Gmail account. So
Well, I will send you mine, and then you can just send me back, and I'll have it.
Yeah, everybody who is in the Zoom, send their email to Alex, and particularly people who volunteered. Make sure Alex has your email and contact information.
Chuck, I already got your email, so you don't need to worry about it. So
What?
I already got Chuck's email.
Oh,
so
you got Chuck's. Okay.
Yeah.
Did Chuck volunteer for something? What?
No. It's just because, like I said, he's our secretary. So yeah.
Oh, in your county. Yeah. Wow. I am so stoked. You guys did a great job. Yep.
Well, I appreciate your help today, Dan, because like I said, I want to get this party started, and you've been very helpful today. So I hope everybody else like feels like, and this is the start of something. So and I hope it can grow and grow as we go. So, but yeah, I'll be sending out emails to everybody that's like part of this committee right now, so that way everybody has that email. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And basically, like I'm pretty much gonna be ending like all the meetings with the following slogan: progress means going forward. We are not going back. That's basically our slogan, because I believe in forward progress. So I try to be really clever. It's like shift D for drive, and then R for reverse kind of deal. But I thought that was too cheesy. So, but yeah. Does anybody have any final thoughts before we actually close out? I mean, feel free to just blurt it out. It's fine.
I received more than one notification about a PDA event or occurrence at 4 p.m. today. Can you explain what that's all about?
That's the actual PDA, like across the United States. Like this is just for Michigan specific, but the PDA that is at 4 o'clock, that's like the main nationwide chapter. Like that's headed by Alan Minsky. Did I say his name correctly?
Yes, Alan Minsky is our executive director. That is the town hall that we have every Sunday that Alex was talking about earlier. And we've been doing that for like 3 years. Every Sunday for 3 years. No organization does that. It's crazy. A town hall. And it's not a webinar. It's an actual, people get to participate and ask questions and be part of it. Yeah.
Would you recommend that we join that?
Yes. In fact, I think, Alex, did you put the link in the chat?
I did.
There's a link in the chat where you can get to the town hall if you find it somewhere. There's probably a lot of good stuff in this chat. Maybe people should save the chat. Do you know how to save the chat, everybody?
I don't. I just if you want to, if you like what's it called? If you just want to like copy the whole thing, like if you have a smartphone, you can just like hold down and it'll say copy, and then just paste it onto like something else, and then like on a Word document on your phone, and then or just send it. You can even put it on like a text message that you can send somebody, and then just is like to join. Click here to join, right, and then the passcode right there. That's the passcode. That's basically how it works, right? It's the same thing as like, if anything, we could always like send it out via email or something like that. Oh, we got another person jumping in. So right at the very
We got
tail end
some-
of things. So
Laura. Hi, Laura.
So yeah, but if anybody has any like questions or concerns, something like that, you could always just feel free to text me and at my number. Once again, I'll type my number in one more time. And I'll also include the email address for, geez, where is it? Sent.
Laura came in late, so we're going to put her to work. We're going to give her some stuff.
Yeah. Here
Okay, that's the way it goes sometimes. But hey,
That's
I'm
right.
an active Democrat and I'm an active voter.
So here's the email address. If you want me to send you the link, feel free to send me email. It's progressive dem Michigan at mi@gmail.com. That's the email address. That's the official email address that I've created for the PDA chapter. And that way, if you want the link, I'll send it to you from there, if that's okay with y'all.
There you go.
So I'll leave it up here for the time being. For that way, everybody can copy it down. So other than that, anybody have any issues, any concerns, anything they want to bring up before we close up shop?
I just want to thank everybody, and thank you, Alex. And Laura, you came in late. If you feel like you missed things, please get in touch with Alex. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I can. If you want to, you can just drop your email address, and I can send you the agenda that we basically covered. So that way you're up to date on everything. So.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep. You can send me an email. That's the email address, progressivedemmi@gmail.com. That's the email address for the for our chapter part email. Sorry. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, that's my phone number right there, 503-507-6324. Feel free to text me. Just say, hey, this is Kim, this is Gordon, this is Laura, and something like that. That way I have your number and I'll save you in my context, and then I'll just text you any information. And listen, if anybody has any questions or they want to say, hey, listen, can we do a Zoom meeting sometime? Because I want to talk about what we got to do next. Just let me know and we can schedule a date and a time. Like I said, I've got the next 2 weeks off. I'm going to be kind of busy, but I will still be available for people, especially like later in the evenings and whatnot. So I just want everybody to know, like, I want to help wherever I can. And if I don't know the answer to the question, I'll reach out to Dan here. I'll reach out to Mike Fox. I'll reach out to anybody, and they'll be sure to give me a hand with this stuff because, you know, like I said, we're all in this together. I firmly believe that. So anyway, everybody, thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. I really do appreciate it. And once again, I just hope it continues to grow because I really want us to continue working and networking, and I want us to just keep working together. So everybody that's volunteered to help out with this chapter, thank you so much. I couldn't be more thankful at this point, and I'm looking forward to work with all of y'all in the future.
I'm going to try to put my email in the chat here so people will have it. Are we still there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
And is who's still here? Oh, people are dropping off.
We
Okay.
got 11 people still, so.
Yeah, that's okay. It's not letting me do this. I don't know why. Shoot. Anyway, it's Dan.
I'll drop your email real quick.
Dan at pdamerica.org is the easiest one. Dan at PDA-M. Yeah. Any questions about PDA? I think that's right. Dan at
PDA America.
Yeah, pdamerica.org. That should work. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Gotcha.
Okay. Mary, any last thoughts?
No, just that I'm looking forward to.
You're excited. Mary's gonna bring 5 new people to our next meeting.
Okay, well, I don't know about that. But speaking of which,
Alex, talking about next meeting. When's a good time? We should probably project a date quick?
Geez, I hadn't even got to that yet. I'm still.
Well, I mean, if we look at a calendar,
I can do this the 9th of March at 2 p.m. is fine. That way it doesn't roll into
so we do Sunday at 2 on the 9th, just like we're doing here.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Is anybody against that? Sunday the 9th of March at 2? If nobody's against it, let's project that and then we can get the word out and see what people think. Is that a good date for you, Dennis? I'm not sure if Dennis is still on. Okay, let's do it.
All right, sounds good. If it doesn't work for anybody, just let me know and we can reschedule, and I'll be sure to send out messages to everybody. So, all right, fantastic. All right, well, all right, well, again, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much. Please get the word out for the date. And once again, I'm just going to keep adding on to the social media page and sending out emails constantly. And I just want to keep you all up to date on things. So, all right, well, everybody, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Please stay safe out there because the weather is very, very hectic. So anyway, thank you all so much. Y'all take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.